Hey, record-loving friends, Brian from Tokyo Record Style. I am in front of one of the most famous, legendary department stores in all of Japan, Mitsukoshi. And I'm out here on Chuo-dori. It's one of the sort of famous boulevards where people from all across the country have come for over 100 years to come to Nihonbashi and to come to Mitsukoshi Department Store. So I'm very excited to bring you here today. It's very ornate and beautiful. It's got a little bit of gothic New York City vibes, and it's an important cultural property I can see here. And it is filled with the brands that you know, Tiffany and Hermes and Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Chanel and Bulgari and so on. And today we are going to go up to the 7th floor because there's something very cool up on the 7th floor that I'm excited to show you. And it's not often that I come over here, so it's nice to pay a visit to Nihonbashi on the far east side of town. And so together, let's go to Mitsukoshi. Cosmetics on the first floor, some jewelry, there's probably a Rolex somewhere in here. And we're gonna go up to the 7th floor. Ooh, look at these ornate elevators. Let's go catch this one. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is where there are places to buy very beautiful cakes and presents. And okay, very interesting. It's a huge art gallery. Lots of art being sold. Wow, really cool. Okay, and I see the place that I want to bring you today. Dun, 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 dun. This is the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' 4 or 5 night performance at the Budokan in Tokyo, Japan. The Beatles came here in 1966 on July 2nd through 5th, so it has been exactly 60 years to the day. And the stories of the Beatles playing in Tokyo are legendary. It was controversial, there was no dancing allowed, and there's a great video of it out there. It's one of the most highly bootlegged videos of the Beatles, and we can get a very up close and personal look at their time here in the same very summer that they stopped touring, their last show at Candlestick in the same summer, 1966. When they came to Japan, a young photographer by the name of Shinpei Asai got very intimate with the Beatles with his camera, and he got a very unique backstage pass. And I came to know about him through my homie Kamiya-san, and Kamiya-san has invited me to today's exhibition, and because I name dropped him, we got the green light to show you a little bit of this. I have to be mindful of the other visitors to the gallery, but this is a really unique opportunity. The book that was published following the concerts was called Hello Goodbye, and I can already tell by a quick peek of this exhibition that there are many more photos in the exhibition today than there are in the book Hello Goodbye, which I think is getting a repress this year. It's very exciting. Hello Goodbye, the Beatles in Tokyo, 1966. Our heroes, John, Ringo, George, and Paul. And if these close-up portraits aren't an indicator of how intimate these photographs are and what kind of access Asai-san had, I don't know what is. So this is very, very exciting. 1966, can you imagine? At the Budokan. Our hero here is Asai-san. Asai-san is 89 years old. I haven't met him before, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet him, which might get tacked on to a second part of the video. But Asai-san, thank you very much for having us, and we're very excited to celebrate your work and celebrate this amazing milestone, 60 years since the Beatles were in Japan. And they, of course, had these really cool red shirts that they wore under the gray jackets, and they had the giant Beatles lighting on the back, and there was a bunch of bands that opened for them, which was very, very cool. A bunch of Japanese sort of group sound bands that all welcomed the Beatles, and you can see that this is made with film. This is, of course, is film photography. John, George, and Paul, and Ringo, and just like, look at the grain. Look at the color grain. It's so beautiful. I wonder if that's coming through on the camera. It's really, really beautiful. And these pieces are actually for sale. These prints are for sale. Here they are landing at maybe Haneda Airport, and we're going to go check out something else where we're going to hear a little bit more about the Beatles. There's another interesting Beatles exhibition that's happening in Tokyo. It's kind of the summer of Beatles. And these very kimono-style jackets that they're wearing, they're called yukatas. There's a story about them receiving these jackets that we may eventually get to, flying on Jiao. And oh, look at Paul's baby face smile, George in the front. I'm really, really excited to get to share this with you. It's very, very cool. Okay, there's the drum case, Ringo's drum case. And they stayed at the Capitol Hotel, I think it was, in the presidential suite. And look at this access that Asai-san got. He got to photograph the silverware, the china, the flatware. It's such a good storyteller. And here they are at the doing the press conference at the Hilton Hotel. And I'm sure they're being their cheeky selves. Security has told us that we have to be very, very mindful, and I need to have an attendant with me to make sure that we are very mindful. Nihonbashi and Mitsukoshi is very old school, so we don't really want to upset anybody. But I'm going to encourage you that the exhibition is here until the 20th, so you have some time to come and check it out. And yeah, it's incredible. It's really, really cool. And oh, we're getting told again. Damegana. Huh? No, it's okay? Okay. And I imagine that he's shooting with 400 speed film, maybe 1600, I don't really know. Here's the awesome portrait of Ringo. Look how close he is. It's really cool that Asai-san got so close and got so many details of the space and of the boys. A really cool signed piece here with Ringo at the drums. Very cool. And all the boys are smoking cigarettes and they're having their Coca-Cola and rum. What did they have? And they must have been 24, 25. And oh man, okay, I really want to be mindful of the people. This is the program. This is really cool. And wow, amazing. They all signed it. That's very, very cool. This is so beautiful. Just the details of this. It's got this very Showa Jidai ashtray. Supremely cool. But the fans were so excited that the Beatles weren't able to leave their hotel. They had to stay at their hotel the whole time. I love the composition. Asai-san's got a really interesting eye. He's putting things off to the side of the frame. The fans here are all meant to sit down. They weren't allowed to stand up. And if they did, the police officers were told to tell them to sit down. And they have the programs. And oh my God, it's so super special. After I finish filming this video, I'm going to go enjoy it another time. There's John in his undies. It's so funny, you can know who he is from his back. And this is really cool. This is the piece that was, because the fandom was so ravenous and because they couldn't leave the house. In fact, one of my friends, Manabu-san, told me that his wife scaled the side of the hotel and she fell off the lattice, the ivy lattice, and she broke her arm, and just to get a glimpse of the Beatles. But they couldn't leave their hotel, and inside their hotel, they waited there. They all contributed to a four-way artwork where they drew on this piece. One quadrant is John, Paul, George, and Ringo. I don't know which is which, but they auctioned it for charity, and so this was the only piece that the Beatles ever did, the only artwork that they ever did. I'll show it to you up close. There's a color version of it maybe in the book, but very cool. And there's the paints that they used, and their Chelsea boots, and the no mask, and the various Japanese traditional crafts. Wow, I've never seen this photo before. This looks like a painting. It's so high ISO. It's been pushed really far in the darkroom, and it looks really great. Here's all the fan letters that the Beatles got. The John on the shakuhachi with a little lens flare, maybe. And George taking in some kind of model of a Japanese shrine. Ringo here with the FT camera box. That's pretty cool. And the shamisen. And oh my God. Oh, and we didn't check out the camera. We can actually see Asai-san's camera. How cool. Oh wow, that's his armband. That's so cool. That's the armband that they wore at the Beatles. Oh my God, how precious. With a Nikon F. Wow, Shinpei Asai. That's awesome. The Beatles visited Japan for the first time in 1960. This camera was regularly used by Shinpei Asai, the only official Japanese photographer to take their photos close by. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to encourage you, and yeah, you can see some of the photos are in color. Oh man, this is a wicked exhibition. This is super, super, super cool. Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit more. Oh my God, there's lots more. I don't really want to steal the whole show, but there's color photos over on this side. And oh, those aren't Betsu no. Not Betsu. Oh, it's Asai-san's photos, but okay. Over here, there's more works of Asai-san's. They are not part of the Beatles collection. Asai-san also made records. He's famous for making a photo book called Street Photography, and I'd like to ask him about that. And he also made some vinyl records. He recorded some albums of some atmosphere recordings. Very interesting. Here's Paul with the shakuhachi. Guys, I'm a little bit, I can't like slow down because I can tell my presence here is a little bit, yeah. But it's really groovy. Okay. Oh, one of my favorites. George just looking supremely cool. And then, oh, Brian Epstein. And he demanded that the Beatles play the Budokan because it was the only place that could hold, I think, 10,000 people. And their meals, I mean, good on you, Asai-san, just to photograph these tiny little details, like the beans and gravy and super cool beer. I love this photo. This is one of the first photos in the book, and Paul is carrying a Nikon camera, a Nikon, and John with the sunglasses in the hotel, and that's definitely Brian. It's great, isn't it? Okay. And then there's a lot of merch. Okay, and the girls are waving goodbye maybe, or welcoming them. And there's some gacha, something that you can get in the gacha, some can badges, and some t-shirts and swag bags. And wow, really cool. I love these t-shirts. Okay, they're very cool. And there's postcards, and there's Hello Goodbye, the written book. And here's a program of today's exhibition, perhaps. That might have to come home with me. And the actual book, the actual Hello Goodbye book, I don't think it's here. And wow, interesting. I don't know so deeply about Asai-san's work outside of the Beatles, but I would like to check it out. It's beautiful slide film, I'm guessing. This is a positive film. You can just kind of tell by the color palette. Maui, 1975. I know he recorded one of his albums in Jamaica. He's got an album called Surf Break that you can check out. This is Paris, 1975, and Australia, and Hobo, and wow. Stunning. Palau, that's like one of the tiniest, most remote islands ever. Hobo, where's Hobo? And Los Angeles. Carnation Company, okay. That is it, guys. I'm going to sign off. That is the amazing exhibition. Asai-san, thank you so much. I hope we have a chance to meet someday in person, and I want to encourage anybody who is in Japan to come check out this show. I'll leave all the details in the show notes. And congratulations on an amazing exhibition, and thank you very much for documenting this wonderful history. It's very cool. I like to revisit it all the time. I love to go to the Budokan. It's on the way to and fro, and it's always a thrill to think that the Beatles came here and that it was such a big deal. So, from Tokyo with love, thank you so very much, and until next time, see you at the photo gallery. Bye. Hey there, little epilogue here. Great show. Shinpei Asai, supremely cool photographer, really great compositions, great darkroom work. It was a great show. Lots of images, and it was just so personal and so up close, so intimate. It was a really spectacular show. I really enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody who helped produce it and put it together. I'm going to try to go back there tomorrow. It's far, but I'm going to try my best. But I may have to take what we got for what we're going to put in the can. Speaking of can, Kampai, having a little Coca-Cola today. It hits the spot on a summer day. Security, Mitsukoshi, I get it. I get it. But it was a little bit overbearing. a little bit overbearing. I don't want you to change. I don't want you to capitulate. And I don't want to trample over your way of doing things. But it just kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. You know what I mean? It was so good vibes, and it just kind of takes the fun out of it. So, some constructive criticism. I had a great time. I met these two really interesting ladies, Yuka-san and Minowa-san. They were a riot. I met these two ladies. They just looked like they were cackling, and looks like they were having a blast. And I said to them, just by chance, are you super Beatles fans? And they're like, oh yeah, we're the biggest Beatles fans ever. I said, oh cool. Do you remember when the Beatles came to Japan? And Yuka said to Minowa-san, she was here. And I said, wow, you were here? And she said, yep, I was here. And I said, wow, what do you remember? And she said, well, I was really young, and like too young, like 12, I don't remember what she said, but if her friend was, I think she said she was 16. And she said that all she remembers is, yeah, 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 girls screaming and no music at all. And before you know it was over, that's what she said. But that's so cool that she was there, and it's so cool that they shared their stories with me. Minowa-san loved Ringo. She's a Ringo gal, and Yuka is a George fan, as am I. So they were really fun, and they said, oh, we go to Beatles cover bands all the time. You should come with us to a Beatles cover band. And so I linked up with them on Instagram and Facebook, and their feeds are filled with Beatles bands that are not all the same cover bands. There's like Beatles cover band after Beatles cover band after Beatles cover band, which is kind of funny. So yeah, great show. It was fun. And I don't know what I could ask Asai-san. He's probably been asked the same questions a million times. What was it like to hang out with the Beatles? How did you get so close? Where does your, eye for composition come from? What camera were you using? I think we got pretty much all we could manage, but there's probably a story or two in there. I still would love the chance to meet him and also show off his amazing book, Hello Goodbye. I also met Kami Naga-san, who was the publisher of the book, not of the Hello Goodbye book, but of the exhibition book, as well as a retrospective, an autobiography that Asai-san wrote. He's the publisher, Kami Naga-san. And he was very nice and told me about his memories of the Beatles. He was living in the countryside, and he was only about 13 years old. So yeah, it was cool. I got to meet some people. The staff who were running the exhibition were very, very nice. Security guards, they were all over the place. And they were just on top of me every time I said, I got the approval, and I told the last guy this 5 seconds ago, and they kept chasing after me. And like I said, it kind of like nearly spoiled the fun. It didn't, but it nearly did. So yeah, come and see it. Come get your Beatles on before it's over. Summer of 1966. Here we are 60 years later in 2026. So time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Okay, from east side of Tokyo, Nihonbashi, really cool part of town. I should spend more time here. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.